In this video, I'm going to show you how you can integrate your CheckFlow checklists with thousands of other apps using Zapier. Zapier is a really powerful platform that just simplifies the whole process for you. So you can sign up for a free trial. The free trial will put you on the professional plan, but the actual basic free plan is actually quite useful itself. It gives you 100 zaps a month. So let's go over to CheckFlow first, and what you will need to do is go down into team management, which you'll only have access to if you're an administrator. Click on the API and integrations tab and then generate yourself an API key. You can generate a new API key here, but you can only have one at a time. So just generate yourself an API key if you haven't done so already, and then copy the API key because you will need that to connect to your CheckFlow app in Zapier. So when you log into Zapier, going back to Zapier here, the dashboard will show you sort of a brief overview of some of the popular zaps, and you can click on create here and then click on zaps. You can then select a trigger and an action. So the trigger will be what actually starts your zap, and the action will be what you actually do after that trigger takes place. So commonly in CheckFlow, you usually would trigger off something like a task completed event. But it may be something else like a file being uploaded or something like that. But let's just work off the task completed. So let's click on trigger here. Let's search for CheckFlow. Select CheckFlow here. Now that we've got CheckFlow, it detects what events are available as a trigger. So let's click task completed. Triggers when a task is completed. Click continue. Now let's connect to our CheckFlow account. So this little pop-up appears, and this is where you have to put your API key in that we previously copied. So let's put that in and connect. Give that a moment. Here we go. That has now connected successfully. Now let's click the continue button again, and then we'll select our template that we want to work with. I'm going to use this client onboarding template. So let's select that. While it's doing that, let's go back over to CheckFlow, and I'll just show you some examples of the client onboarding template. So we've got a few here. What you want to do is, as well, when you're connecting to a specific template, you want to have at least created a few checklists, because what Zapier does is it goes off and it tries to find checklists based off of the template you selected. So if there are no checklists, it's not going to find any information, and you're going to run into a bit of an issue there. So in this instance, we've got Apple, ASOS onboarding, Tesla onboarding. Let's create a brand new one, just so we've got something clean to work with. And let's just say this is going to be a Meta onboarding. Okay, so we've got a few tasks here that we can work with. Let's work with this primary contact details task. You can see here we've got a few different fields in here. We've got primary contact first name, primary contact surname, primary contact email, and primary contact phone number. So we'll hook into the when this task is completed. So let's pick this task out now. So it's going to load up all of those tasks. So it displays them in the order in which you can see them here. So company details, primary contact details, subscription, etc. So we're going to select this primary contact details task. The main reason I've selected that task is just because it has some nice fields that we can work with. So now that we've successfully set that part up, we can test our trigger. Now this is where it goes off and it searches for some records, and you can see it says here we will load up to 3 most recent records that have not appeared previously. So this is where I was saying you really want to have at least 2 or 3 checklists sort of that have been created in the past, so that Zapier can find these. So let's just work with the first one that it's found. That's absolutely fine. Now this is where it's moved on to the action. So this is where we have to pick something that we want to do. So I've got a Gmail account, so I'm just going to use Gmail because it's quite simple, and I'm familiar with it. So in Gmail, you can do something like, as you would expect, send an email is a basic sort of thing. So let's click continue here, and this is now going to ask me to sign in. So I will just sign in here using my account. Okay, I'll just allow this. Okay, I'm connected now to my Gmail account. Now here, each of these fields are things that you would expect to see in an email. Now every app is different. Obviously, if you're working with something like, I don't know, Salesforce or Trello or something completely different, you're going to have a whole different raft of options here. Obviously, it's impossible to cover every single app because there's over 6,000 of these apps you can integrate with. But we're just using Gmail as a example here. So obviously, this will be where the email goes to. So let's pick out each of these fields can pick out information from the checklist and information within the specific task that you selected. So the information within the task is prefixed with the word fields, and then you have like the type of the field. So this one's an email input, this one's a short text, and then the title of the actual field itself. So you can see this one's primary contact email, primary contact phone number, primary contact first name, primary contact surname. So we could use all of that information within those tasks to actually put into our email. So let's say we're going to put the primary contact email, so the address that is put into that checklist, we're going to that's who we're going to send it to, and then we're going to say from, and we're just going to use my email address here, and then we'll just type in some. You can put static data in here as well, so you can just put a fixed. So if you want to do always send, maybe you might want to CC it to a fixed address as well. There's nothing stopping you from just typing in stuff there. But let's just continue on. Subject here, let's say this could be hello, and then we'll take the first what's put into the first name field, and then we can put the body in. So we can say hello, and then let's pick out that first name again, and then we can do comma, and then here are your details. Let's change this to HTML. And then let's just grab some of these details in here. So let's grab the checklist URL, and then we will put some other information in here. So primary contact first name, primary contact surname, primary contact email, and primary contact phone number. Okay, and then we will sign off with maybe the name of the person that completed the task. Let's say task completed by, should have task completed by name somewhere here. If you've got a very large task with lots of information, it can be a little bit tricky to actually find what you're looking for. I'm sure there's something like that. A task completed by name, there we go. Okay, so I think we're pretty much done there. You can add attachments as well. So if the file itself has if the task itself has like a file upload control or something like that, you could pick information out there. So there are some useful things you can do there. So let's continue here. You can test this or skip it. I'm just going to skip this for now because I'm just going to do the test right now anyway. So now that we've finished this, we can publish this. Okay, we can give this a quick name. Task completed. Send mail. Okay, so this is all this is on at the moment. If I go to, I think it's where is it? Go to my dashboard. Yep, I've got my Zap here, and I can click this little arrow, and this will allow me to like view the history. It shows me what apps it's integrating with, and I can see all sorts of stuff in here, and I can do things like turn it off and on, and I can edit it. So let's get the history page up, and then what we will do is we will just fill in some of these things, and that will trigger the task. So let's just put some information in here. Complete this first task, which isn't actually that relevant because we're actually going to be working off of this task. But let's fill this in. So let's say this is Mark Zuckerberg, I won't put his real address in because I don't want to send any. I don't want to send any strange emails out. Let's just put my own email address in here. Let's just put some random numbers in here. So I've filled in some fake information in here, and I'm going to complete this task, and that should now trigger that zap. So what happens is CheckFlow will send Zapier listens to a webhook that we will send, and once it detects that webhook, it will then perform the zap. So let's just refresh this. Here we go. It's already happened. It does happen pretty quickly, and you can see we've got a success status here, and you can see some of the information in here, and this is what's happened. You can see the to address has gone to the information that I put out, and you can see it's put a subject of hello Mark, and then it's put hello Mark, here are your details, and then it's got the name of the checklist. Okay, it hasn't really formatted well. It's all put everything on one line, which is a bit slightly annoying. Probably I should have put a return after each one, but we should be able to see that. Yep, let me drag this email across to the screen so you can see this, and you can see that this has just come in from me to, and you can see hello Mark, here are your details, and it's got all the information we put in there. So the point of this to show you is that you can trigger off of a task completed event, and from that you can pull the information that you put into the checklist and into the task itself, and then put that into any other app and do whatever you want with. And the possibilities are kind of endless. You know, you could add a new row in Google Sheets, you could create a new entry in your CRM system, you could raise a new ticket in your ticketing system. There's all sorts of things you can do, and our customers are using these in hundreds of different ways. But hopefully this has been useful to maybe get you started. And as always, just get in contact with support if you need any help. Thank you.